Before Call of Duty had hit markers, minimap spam, and the constant UI telling you what was happening around you, it used sound to do everything. And if you played Call of Duty 2, you probably remember this without even realizing it. The crack of the Car 98K somewhere across the street, an MG42 locking down an entire building before you even saw where it was coming from. Or that moment when a grenade landed near your feet and suddenly everything went silent except a ringing in your ears. Back then, sound wasn't just background noise, it was the battlefield. One of the biggest differences in Call of Duty 2 compared to modern shooters is how weapons sounded dangerous before they were even visible. You didn't need indicators telling you where enemies were shooting from, you could hear it. A distance rifle shot had a completely different tone than the one fired right next to you. Machine guns echoed differently depending on whether they were across the street, inside a building, or firing down an alleyway towards you. And when the MG42 opened up nearby, it didn't just sound loud, it sounded like something you weren't supposed to challenge head on, and your first instinct wasn't to push forward, it was to get down. The M1 Garand is probably one of the most famous examples of this, not just because of how it fired, but because of what happened after. That metallic ping when the clip is ejected told everyone nearby exactly what was happening. It meant a reload window. It meant vulnerability. It meant opportunity. And the game never explained that to you. You just learned it naturally by listening. Even bolt-action rifles felt different in Call of Duty 2. The Car 98 didn't sound like a clean modern sniper rifle. It sounded sharp, violent, immediate. Each shot held weight to it. And when you heard that sound echo through a street in Stalingrad, you didn't need a kill feed telling you exactly what just happened. You already know somebody just got dropped. Explosions might be the most memorable sound design choice in the entire game, because they didn't just make noise, they changed what you could hear. If a grenade landed close to you, the game didn't flash your screen red and move on. It temporarily took your hearing away, everything became muffled. Then came the ringing. And for a few seconds, you weren't reacting like a player anymore, you were reacting like someone caught in an explosion. It slowed the pace of the fight without changing the mechanics at all, and somehow that made the moment feel real. Another thing Call of Duty 2 did better than most shooters today was squad voice communication. Your teammates didn't just exist to follow scripts. They warned you, they shouted when enemies were nearby, they yelled when grenades landed close, they called out machine gun positions before you even saw them. These weren't just background voice lines, they replaced the need for interface alerts. Instead of icons telling you where the danger was coming from, you heard it from the soldiers around you, and that made the battlefield feel alive. Environmental sound played a huge role too, especially in larger missions. In Stalingrad, artillery never really stopped. Even when nothing was happening right in front of you, the city sounded like it was collapsing somewhere nearby. In North Africa, tank engines could be heard long before they appeared over the horizon. Sometimes you knew armor was coming minutes before you actually saw it, and that changed how you moved, you slowed down, you looked for cover earlier, you prepared before the fight even started, all because of sound. Ricochets were another detail most players don't consciously remember, but they mattered. When bullets hit walls near you, they didn't disappear quietly. They snapped, they cracked past your head, they reminded you how close danger actually really was. Even if you weren't taking damage, the game made sure you felt like you were. and that tension stayed with you the entire mission. What makes Call of Duty 2 even more interesting is how little visual feedback the game relied on compared to modern Call of Duty. There were no constant hit markers filling your screen, no layered audio cues telling you exactly when someone stepped within range, no UI tracking every movement around you. Instead, the game trusted its sound design to communicate what mattered, and somehow that made everything clearer.
Need ammunition and reinforcements. Many casualties. Over.
Modern Call of Duty games aren't worse. They just are designed a little differently. They move faster, they prioritize responsiveness, they give players immediate confirmation for almost every action. Hit markers, enemy indicators, footstep boosts, warning alerts. Everything is built to keep information flowing constantly. But because of that, sound isn't the primary source of awareness anymore. It's just one layer of many. Back in Call of Duty 2, sound was the awareness system. You could tell where enemies were before even seeing them. You could tell when someone was reloading without looking at them. You could tell when artillery was about to land nearby. You could tell when a machine gun position was too dangerous to challenge directly, all without a single icon appearing on the screen. And that's why the game still feels different today, because it looked more realistic, but because it sounded more believable. Even now, years later, most players can still recognize these sounds instantly. The Garand ping, the MG42 tearing through a hallway, the ringing after a grenade explosion, distance crack of a Car 98 somewhere across the map. You don't forget those, because they weren't just effects. They were a part of how the game taught you to survive. And that's what made Call of Duty 2 feel like a war instead of just another shooter. And just like that, I'm wrapping the video up. So if you guys enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any suggestions on future videos or anything you guys want me to cover, let me know. And until then, see you in the next one, guys. Take care.